and this is the HP Dl380 G6, specifically ProLiant, but of course there's only one Dl380 G6, but you know, it is of the ProLiant series. You may remember it as a Curbled server. It has seen a new motherboard since then, because unfortunately the original one has perished. I think it might have some internal corrosion. I think it may have been victim of a flood at some point. But anyway, new motherboard. It works except for one incident where it didn't, which potentially you might see it if it's going to do it again. And you can see my very external power supply for the two hard drives. This is a Newton Power. I think it's 160 watt. It's out of a Gateway East 2000, which I really wish that I hadn't ripped apart, but it's about 5 years too late for that. Oh, probably even more than 5 years. But anyway, one of the hard drives, the farther one is 2 terabytes. That's a Seagate. And then this one is 4 terabytes, which is a replacement hard drive, though technically speaking, the first replacement was just me buying another one because the warranty was up on that one. But yes, the first iteration of this actual drive model, I think it's Hitachi GST or something like that. But the first one of that, it was doing a lot of clicking and eventually got really slow and the smart data went bad, but this one hasn't had any problems. And they're just running into the back of the server to a SATA card. And I accidentally had this power supply turn off for some reason a couple days ago actually. But strangely the server didn't seem to care that the drives just kind of went missing for a while. Like, I know SATA's hot plug, but I don't know, you're supposed to remove the devices or something. But anyway, I digress severely. What we're doing today is installing 2 CPUs. It might be slightly more evident that they are CPUs from this side, a little bit. But I laughed when I saw this, though it is quite good packaging. This is a tape drive cartridge box. Well, I don't know what you'd call that specifically. I mean, I guess just a cartridge box, but anyway, yes, there's 2 CPUs in here. Knife is downstairs. Okay, so knife is not here, so we're just gonna have to brute force our way in. Something like that. No sort of anti-static protections, but frankly I've never had that matter, at least as far as I know. And then of course the second one. You may have seen it, I legitimately do not know, but we will go over the model of these CPUs in a minute. Because frankly I don't remember what way the numbers actually go, but... Okay, so... Oh, that's one thing I need, thermal paste, oh dear. I've never seen stickers stuck to the CPU before, that's a little weird. But let's see. It's an L5520. Tried originally to get L5530s, because I wanted something that's 60 watts. Well, originally, I pulled the CPUs from my Dell server, which are L5640s. Which are like 6 cores, 12 threads, amazing CPUs, still 60 watts, I think. The server would turn on and even post with those CPUs, however it wouldn't work. Though I'm not sure if that's entirely because the server doesn't support them or not, and we'll get into that later, if I remember. But yes, 2 of those L5520s. They're 4 cores still. I have E5504s now. You might know them as being less than worthless, which they indeed are. They're like 80 watt TDP or something, maybe even 90. 4 cores, 2 gigahertz. These are at least like maybe 2.33. I don't know, but they're more power efficient, which is what I'm going for here. But anyway, I suppose we should probably turn the server off. Okay. Oh my god, that's sunlight readable. It's not the one that we want. There we go. That should do, I think. A little bit of glare, but whatever. So. Oh right, can I not turn this thing off from here? That's system. Oh, okay, shut down right there. Though I should probably start. I should probably shut down the currently running virtual machines first. Oh dear, I don't like it when the thing that I'm standing on that's between me and a story fall makes a big clunk. Anyway, shut down. So while that's shutting down, probably take care of the other one. This is just some kind of stopgap thing for World Community Grid until I figure out something better. Well, I have a Debian VM all ready to go actually, but I just haven't done anything with it. Oh dear, that is very, very small. But we can do it. Yep. Probably shut off. There we go. Okay, so yes, Proxmox, a whole bunch of garbage went into making the RMRR, or whatever specifically it's called, work, because there's shenanigans going on in this server, because, well, you know. Anyway, server 2003 is working on shutting down. Let's just see what its console looks like. Yeah, Windows is shutting down. I believe that. And it's just about to shut down, so let's tell the system to shut down. It's going to wait for the VM to shut off anyway. Here its hard drive's really going, so it's probably working on that, but there we are. So let's see. Okay. Probably should unplug the server at some point. But yes, where should I put this? Probably over here. That fits. Yeah, you might hear the whine. That's this thing's. You can't see it, but the power supply's capacitor draining. Well, it always whines, but the coil whine changes, you know, as the capacitors drain. So I have to undo these thingamabobs that I probably will not be able to tighten again. Oh my god. Okay, how about that? But yeah, the server does have one... Oh. Another text. The server does have one SATA port, which I thought about using when my whatever you call it, the PCI I don't know, the 64-bit PCI-X, there we go. I had a PCI-X SATA card, in fact I still have it, but for whatever reason that can't properly talk. It can apparently use arrays larger than 2 terabytes because I installed a BIOS update to it specifically for that, but it can't use disks larger than 2 terabytes, which is a problem because both mine are. So for now, just using a PCI SATA, presumably SATA 1 card. 6 whole gigabytes of RAM, one each, definitely unbuffered, I'd think. But yes, fans. Only kind of annoying that one fan is, I mean, Delta's a good brand, but one fan is Delta branded. If it had been 2, I could have made it symmetrical, but yes, I'm really like that. Anyway, here's for the meat and potatoes of this video, I suppose. The CPU. In the interest of time, and also in the interest if I'd have to move some stuff to actually get back downstairs because I'm sitting on my way down, we're gonna see if I can get away with not changing the thermal paste. I'm not expecting any sort of problem. Yeah, there's enough on there and it still looks okay. Now, this is not recommended behavior, but the fans, because of my amount of PCI cards, the fans are already running pretty high anyway, so it's alright. Okay, and there's this one. That one might have a little bit more thermal paste on it. Certainly I will pay attention to the temperature, but I really do not expect any sort of problem whatsoever. I'm uncertain if you can see it, but over here there's one pin that's cut a bit short and one that's just gone. And I think that's the source of my previous problems that I did wind up having with this server. One time it kind of spazzed between overheating and totally fine, when it was definitely not overheating. But yes, I'm pretty sure the mutilated and missing pin occasionally do cause issues. The other socket's fine, and if this is the time that it's going to go, I do believe I'm still within the 60-day return period for this motherboard, so if it is going to ever permanently go, let's hope it's now. But yes, remember to actually apply thermal paste if your fans aren't like running at extreme speed already, because good thermal conductivity is good, but as it stands, even with completely zero thermal paste before, I've never seen these CPUs be above 40 Celsius, and also that was probably very out of focus for a while, and I apologize. Anyway, you can see that was a very easy CPU change, because this just pulls up and then you just lift off the heat sinks, and that's all there is to it. This bracket, cage, whatever you want to call it, jail, that applies pressure on the processors. These are hockey taped in, because at that moment I didn't have electrical tape. Yeah, my SATA wires still seem okay. Because this riser bracket thing got a little bit mutilated at one point, it is slightly interesting to get the cards in, but it is certainly doable. And I think I have done it. When I get everything ready, I'll quickly plug it in and make sure of that. Okay, I've got all these buttoned up. Let's see, I wanna be slightly more ready. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't really matter, but back this up a little bit. Was there a particular one that I was using here? I guess that seems right. Anyway, okay, good. Those lights. Work quickly to close it. Put the power supply up here. Plug it in. Put that there so nothing has the possibility of shorting. Get the hard drives going. Okay. Make sure the connectors are good. Server is turning on. I didn't think to bring a monitor, so I will go get that now because it will take forever to post. Okay, so how about that? Okay, it says, let me try to block the light there. Okay, so we have two L5520s, 2.27 gigahertz. I was close. And then our tag of A, so that's all good. By that temperature, it doesn't think it's overheating, but that one's always been reliable. I don't dare enter the BIOS. That would probably tell me temperatures of the CPU. The ILO2 kind of killed itself recently. It's just some configuration issue. I switched my network IP address to a different /24, and there were kind of two casualties to the move for some reason, but we have been saved because I know there's a way to do it, but I've been too lazy thus far. But I need to go advanced options and then manually select relaxable RMRR, or the virtual machine that has the modem and stuff. I don't know why it does that, but you don't need to. But yes, the VM that has the modem and the SATA card forwarded to it will not get those. In fact, it won't start if I don't select that. And you can see it doesn't seem very happy, but it doesn't care. It'll boot anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of glare going on there, but yes, there we go. So it's all running again. Surprised the laptop isn't sleeping by now. Give it the benefit of a refresh. Go ahead and start that, and wait to start that. And okay. And there's that. You can see our two drives in the BIOS sign-on screen for the SATA card. That's right. It does somehow, I don't know how, it does pass through, not only pass through, but reinitialize the BIOS of the SATA card. So if the SATA card does ever get confused because of a drive disappearing or whatever, which it does happen, all I have to do is restart the virtual machine, and it will automatically pick up the drives again. It's really quite fancy. But yes, Server 2003 is the domain controller. There's been talk of a mail server, but it's probably not going to be on this. But yeah, it's also, just because of convenience factor, it's also the file server, well, somewhat file server. The router still does some of it. But yeah, so anyway, yes, I did get a keyboard in time, as you know. Unplug that now. But yes, that's about it for the CPU upgrade here. I've got two worthless CPUs there to keep as backups, and hopefully one day unknowingly slip into some motherboard that I'm selling, because I really, really, really don't like them. But it should be significantly more power efficient now, at least when it's running full bore, which it usually is, because that's what I have World Community Grid doing. But yes, so that's quite good that everything survived, at least nothing more broke. But thank you for watching this video, and if you have a question or comment or whatever, please feel free to leave one, and have a good day, or night, or whatever.